But Pharaoh wanted them to exclude a certain area of their life and then go and worship. And many of us are victims of the same proposal from Satan. To leave certain areas of your life away and go and worship. So Satan has always made the same proposal through our history. That don't fully give it all to God. Keep some and leave your stuff in Egypt, then go and worship because you said you are going to come back. But Moses understood that if we do this, it will be a trap of our lives. Because where we are going, God might demand us to make a sacrifice to Him. He might demand that we worship Him with our. So that is a trap. Because why is it that, okay, this becomes a most greatest trap from the devil? Because Satan knows that God will always demand from you what you are actually struggling the most to give. So what he knows you love the most, you protect the most, is what God is going to ask you for. So let us look at the life of Abraham and let us see what life did Abraham have. So we know in the life of Abraham that God said to Abraham that bring to me yourself and then I will give you a sign that of a covenant between me and you. So God asked Abraham for his private part. So God told Abraham that if I'm going to have a covenant with you to prove that you and me have a relationship, I will make a sign. And that sign is not going to be made anywhere else but on your private part. So God asked Abraham for his manhood. And he said, through your manhood, we will make a covenant. And that covenant will be called a covenant of circumcision. So in other words, God knows what is the greatest confidence of a man. If you want to make a man run away from you, tell him to expose his manhood, to expose his private part. So God knows that the secrecy or the sacredness have a covenant. And the Bible tells us that Abraham then circumcised as a covenant between him and God. that indeed the Lord had now chosen him. And when he did the circumcision, the Bible says the Lord said to him, now you are no longer Abram. You are now Abraham, a father of many nations. So he needed to surrender his privacy as a sign that he can fully surrender to God. And if he never yielded his private part, then it would be a sign that he could not be trusted to carry out an assignment with the Lord. So family, when we speak about a surrender life, we're speaking about hiding nothing, exposing having a child. But when he circumcised as a covenant with God, then he fully told God that because of the covenant, now my seed has been sanctified to you. So his seed was now sanctified to God because he did not fail to surrender his manhood to the Lord. Family, for a man or the man here on the stream, if God asks for your manhood, you know that indeed that is a challenge. And this was a challenge to Abraham. And God wanted to make sure that it is from this point of his life that God can say, I can trust you. Now, all of us have different types of privacies. All of us have different parts of our lives that we don't want to expose nobody to. And when God comes, he asks for his money? No. His money? No. Don't want to serve God. So God said, bring your money. Bring your money to me. So every time he says, bring. So the more you cry that, oh no, I don't want to do it, he bring. So you say, oh God, not now, another day. So you say, oh, maybe God has forgotten. You come back to God again. Oh Lord, Rababashanda. He say, bring your money. Bring. So every time when God meets with you, he asks you to bring your money. Then you say, I don't want to hear. So you change from one church, you go to another church. You change from one man of God, you go to another man of God. You say, every time I go this side, they talk about money. I don't want to hear about money. When you go the other side, every time you get this side, they talk about money. You don't want to hear. So you run everywhere, but everywhere you go, this topic of money does not stop coming. So you say, these churches, it's all about money in these churches. These men of God are looking for money. You get to now hate the things of God because everywhere it's talked about money. Everywhere you now hate the things of God. Because why? God is making sure that the area that you are refusing to, all that he needs to do, he started smiling. He said, wow, you say I must keep all the commandments and I will follow you. And Jesus said, yes. Then he answered, he said, I've kept all those commandments since I was young. So that's very easy to me, to keep commandments. He said, I've kept commandments from the very time I was a young boy, and I've been keeping them until today. And when he was presenting himself, he was probably now ready to follow because he has kept all the commandments from a very young age. And Jesus said, oh, you've been keeping them since you were young. He said, yes. And Jesus said, okay, there's only one thing that is left. He said, there's only one thing that is left. I want you to take all your wealth and all your money, and I want you to give it to the poor. Then after, follow me. Then immediately, the man who did not have a problem with keeping commandments had a problem with giving his money away. No matter how much you think you are good, if he sees that you are a prayer warrior, you don't have a problem with praying. If he sees you don't have a problem with fasting, if he sees you don't, he will always look for the area you don't want to surrender. He will bring it to him. He will ask you to do that. So you will always be running away because you don't want to surrender this area. And because of that, you will not be able to experience the fullness of God. Because you can't get all of Him without giving all of you. So this applies to every area, because there are those who are sometimes generous. And you're very generous. You don't have a problem with giving to God. You even say to men of God, what can I do? Men of God, I want to give to God. Men of God, I want to give to God. You are ready to help the work of God. You are ready to give to God. Yet you have a girlfriend that you don't want to leave, and you are not. Now surrender your relationship to me. Surrender your relationship to me. So meaning, in other words, if the boyfriend and the girlfriend is not from God, leave it out. Leave the girlfriend. Leave the boyfriend. And stop fornicating. Now when you hear that, you say, God, I can give you my money, I can give the offering, I can pay the tithe, I can give anything to you. But this side don't come, don't talk about this one. This side don't come, don't talk about this one. Don't talk about this side of my life. Because you are not ready to surrender that side of your life. You want to continue living that way. You love your girlfriend more than you love God. You love your boyfriend more than you love God. So now you tell God that, God, you were fine when you were talking about other things. But since you are now talking about my boyfriend or my girlfriend, I'm not entering the story anymore. So you go and say, I'm not following this man of God now, because this man of God is talking about my girlfriend and my boyfriend. I'm not following. You go to